Okay, I guess I'm live. Hello, everyone. It's Dr. Manjiri Nadkarni. Today is day 69 of 100 Days of Ayurveda, and I'm coming to you live from one of my friend's place who's celebrating his 40th birthday. So I'm here at my friend's place, and I just decided to take some time out and attend this call and just talk a little bit about Ayurvedic stress management. I'm going to be a little comfortable and maybe try to find some light. Okay, maybe that was a better way. Okay. So today let's talk about Ayurvedic stress management. When we talk about stress, as I mentioned in the first two videos, that stress does not always mean emotional stress, right? You might not be feeling extremely stressed emotionally because of a certain event, but you could definitely have a lot of physical stress because you're not eating well or you're not sleeping well or you're having a lot of junk food, which ends up being toxic to your system. So there are different causes why your body could get stressed out, your mind could get stressed out, or your body doesn't detoxify well. That itself could be an added stressor to your system. So if you haven't watched the previous two videos, please go back to the previous two videos. The first video, day 67, deals with what is the impact of stress on your body, and for day 68 we've discussed about cortisol, the long term hormone, right? The stress hormone, which is secreted in your body, and that creates a lot of fat deposition. That's something that creates a lot of inflammation in the body long term, right? So if you haven't watched those videos, always go back to those. And I'm just going to say a quick hi, Uttam ji and Usha ji. Thank you for being here. If you are watching this live, please just say a hi or drop a quick comment so I know you're here. If you are watching this as a replay, you can just put a hashtag as replay, and at any point of time, if you have any questions for me, feel free to just post them in the comment section and I'll be more than happy to answer. So today we're going to talk about Ayurvedic stress management, right? So the whole point of Ayurveda is to make you less stressed, right? Physically, mentally, emotionally, as well as spiritually. So Ayurveda is one science that looks at your health as well as your happiness. We talk about being sukhayu. So the word sukha means being in a good space, right? Ka stands for space, su stands for good. So when your body is in a good space, when you're emotionally in a good space, when you're mentally in a good space, you're not going to create a lot of issues for yourself and you're not going to be stressed. And the other thing that Ayurveda strives for is to make you hit ayu, right? So hit is the general well-being. So you're also really productive for your community, you're really supportive to your community, your friends, your family, and you're really taking care of everyone. You're taking care of the planet, you're in your own way, right? You're taking care of your communities, your kids. So you are really good, productive as a person, right, as well as for your own self, right? So these are a few important things to note when we talk about Ayurveda or Ayurvedic medicine. And when it comes to stress, we talk about different factors. When it comes to Ayurveda, one of the biggest things that you can do to de-stress is follow daily routines, which is known as dinacharya, right? So right from waking up early in the morning to brushing your teeth, cleaning your tongue, scraping your tongue, taking a shower, exercising. So we have an entire routine planned out, right? And when you are following a certain routine every single day, your body gets a lot of comfort. Your body knows, okay, it's time to eat, it's time to wake up, because I wake up at the same time. So your body starts regulating as well. The same with sleep, right? So when you're following a day routine, you're also following a night routine. So you're going to bed at a good time, which could be 9:30, 10 o'clock, no longer than 11 o'clock at night, right? So this is something that's extremely important to de-stress your body. So when we talk about Ayurvedic stress management, the first point I want to discuss is routines, right? So creating a routine is extremely important if you want to de-stress your body, mind, as well as emotions. Wake up early in the morning, ideally before sunrise. You can take 5 or 10 minutes just to ground yourself. If you can meditate, that's an extra bonus. If you have trouble meditating, just sit with your eyes, closed calmly. Your shoulders should be a little bit lowered. Put your hands at the back, and simple things you can just do and really ground and set an intention for the day. So if you can't meditate, right, a lot of people struggle with meditation. A lot of the times, I hear from my clients and my friends that meditation is really difficult, or I'm having a really challenging time meditating, because as soon as I close my eyes, I start getting a million thoughts in my head, and then I start getting more anxious, I start getting worried, right? So if you are struggling with meditation, thoughts are going to be natural for anyone. Meditation does not mean a thoughtless mind, it means a mind where you are at ease, right? Where you're at ease with your thoughts and emotions, and you're not feeling that much conflict. So if you have trouble meditating, the simple thing is just close your eyes, focus on your breath, and just ground yourself, or set a simple intention for the day, right? When you set an intention, right, it's kind of what grounds you, right? Or you focus on one thing. So an example I tell my clients is, today if you wake up and you just decide that you're going to be happy, right, then you don't let small things spoil your fun or spoil your joy, right, or spoil your mood for the day. If you decide today, if you wake up today and you decide, oh, I'm going to be productive, right, then you're not going to get distracted easily, because you have set that intention, right? So having a morning routine, especially morning routine, is extremely important to de-stress. Wake up at the same time, going to bed at the same time. So following these timings are extremely important as well. Hi Susanna, nice to meet you. It's been a long time. Yeah, thanks for showing up live. So following the routines, following the timing is extremely important. Now, third thing you must do, right? Third thing you must do if you want to de-stress is eat at fixed times. So every single day, right? If you have your lunch at a certain time, maybe keep an half an hour gap if you're somebody who can't follow the exact times. But an example is, if you have your breakfast around 8 to 8:30, then have your lunch around 12:30 to 1, or 12 to 12:30, and have your dinner maybe 5:30 to 6, right? So whatever your timings are, keep those fixed times, right? Try to eat at the same time every single day. That regulates your digestion, right? So if today you eat at 2 o'clock, tomorrow you're eating at 4 o'clock, the next day you might not feel hungry. So that creates a lot of imbalance. And whenever you don't follow a routine, wherever you display an erratic behavior, right, you're contributing to excess vata dosh in your body, which is erratic in nature, right? So vata is something that's mobile, and that is, a little bit erratic. Nobody knows when the wind blows or how, what the intensity blows. The same with vata dosh. So if you create a fixed schedule, it really helps you ground, and it provides a lot of comfort to your body. And this is especially true in today's world, right? So when we're dealing with the whole self isolation phase, I know, in certain countries the isolation has been, postponed, or the quarantines have been postponed. So they're still not opening everything up. Ontario, we are starting to open up a little bit. In certain places, certain countries, things aren't opening up as well. So what has happened in today's world, when people are, under a lot of stress because of the current situation, it takes a toll on your health, and people start becoming extremely irregular. So one day, a person wakes up at 9 o'clock, the next day she'll wake up at 7, the third day she might wake up at noon, right, because she stayed up the whole night. And that is going to create a lot of issues for your body, right? So it takes away comfort, and it puts additional stress on your body. So following a routine, as I mentioned earlier, morning routine extremely important, right? Wake up at the fixed time, go to bed at fixed time. So 10, half an hour here and there acceptable, but not more than an hour, right? And all your foods, all your meals have to be eaten at the same time. That will create a lot of structure, that will create a lot of comfort and certainty for your body in uncertain times. So these three things are extremely important: morning routine, wake up same time, go to bed same time, eat at same time, right? So we're talking about three things, but we are essentially talking about one factor, which is known as time, right? Or kala. So that's extremely important. So this is the first thing to follow. The second thing, when we talk about stressors on the body, right? So when we talk about Ayurvedic medicine, when we talk about Ayurveda, what we believe in Ayurveda is every person is unique, but even with the uniqueness, we've identified three core bioenergies, right, operating in everybody's body. So we talk about Vata dosh, we talk about Pitta dosh, and we talk about Kapha dosh, right? So Vata is the energy of the wind. It is the energy that makes you creative. It is the energy that makes you fast. It is the energy that gives you mobility. It is the energy that helps you with expansion of thoughts, helps you write, helps you play music. So different things, are supported by Vata dosh, right? Pitta is the energy of the sun. So this is the energy that gives you leadership qualities. This is the energy that gives you courage. This is the energy that gives you, the glow on your skin. And this is the energy that gives you your digestive fire, your vision. So that's Pitta energy. And then we talk about Kapha dosh, which is the nurturing energy, right? It's the energy of the moon. So what this energy does, it nourishes you, it nurtures you, it calms you, it grounds you, right? It makes you a really good friend, a good listener, a good nurturer. And it also helps grow and build your body, right? So these are three energies that are operating in every person's body. What happens is, we all have certain dominance of certain energies in the body. So out of the three, one could be dominant, or you could have two that are dominant, or you could have all three in the balance, right? So that forms something known as prakriti, or your innate nature. And if you have taken any dosha quiz in the past, you will see what's going on, right? So when you create a dosha quiz, you're like, okay, I'm a vata, I'm a pitta, or I'm a kapha, or I'm like combination type, so that gives you an idea about who you are, what your body is like, and how it reacts naturally. What's its natural instinct, what's its natural tendency, is what you understand from the thing called prakriti, right? We call it prakriti, the first, creation or first response, and how you are going to behave as your first response, right? So it's something that comes very natural to you. So these doshas, whatever is dominant in your body has to be protected at all times, right? Because these are the doshas, whatever is dominant in your body can easily become excess and can easily get aggravated, and that can create a lot of stress on your body. A simple example is, if you are a vata dominant person, and if you are not sleeping well, right? Or if you are sleeping maybe just 4 hours at night, and you're staying up till like 1 o'clock at night, and your sleep is totally messed up. So what ends up happening is, this vata dosh that's already dominant in your body ends up increasing even further, right? Getting aggravated. That is going to further create issues with your sleep, and that's going to create a lot of stress in the body, right? And lots of issues show up, like arthritis, or maybe headaches, or maybe you start feeling really dry, you start losing a lot of weight, you start losing muscle mass, you feel like shaky, you feel ungrounded, you feel spacey, you cannot focus, you cannot control, right? So it is something you created because you were not sleeping well when you should have been sleeping well. So that's how, not following the routine, or for your dosha type or your prakriti, right, is going to throw things off, and that creates a lot of stress in the body. Let's take another example. So if we talk about a pitta dominant person, right, so this is a person who has a lot of fire in the body. So if this person ends up eating a lot of spicy food, or lots of chili peppers, for example, or they are getting angry for no reason, and they're just habituated to getting angry and irritable, that's going to further aggravate this pitta, right? So when you have this excess pitta, when you have this excess acidic tendency, you start building up a lot of acid in your system as well, and that can create ulcers, that can create a lot of inflammation, that can sometimes make your own cells react to your own cells. Autoimmune conditions can happen, different conditions can happen, because you didn't take care of maintaining, the dosha that's involved in your prakriti, right? That's going out of balance. And if we take an example of kapha, right, the nurturing energy that we were talking about, these are people who are almost couch potatoes, right? So I'm one of those, so don't take any offense if you're listening to this, but for people who are kafas, they hate moving. They like to be comfortable. They like being horizontal. They like just lying down, chilling, sleeping, so that's one of their favorite things. And they like minimum exertion or minimum activities. So if you are a kapha type of person, and if you're sitting for long hours, if you don't exercise, it's going to create a lot of issues in your body, including issues related to circulation. You might get high cholesterol. You might end up gathering a lot of fat in the body. You might start building up a lot of fat deposits. You might start becoming overweight, and you might have this stubborn fat that doesn't move, right? So that is inflamed because your kapha got out of balance because of just sitting and not doing any activity. So these doshas which participate in creating your tendency or your prakriti are the ones that can get out of balance easily, and certain diets and lifestyles are able to control them, right? So always the fourth thing that's going to minimize the stress on your body is following a diet that's per, according to your dosha, and following a lifestyle that is also according to your dosha. So what I'm going to do is I will be sharing few cheat sheets, right? So when I talk about different doshas, if you're not sure of how things work for your dosha, what you should be eating, what you should be avoiding, right? So I'm just gonna share a quick okay. So I'm just sharing a quick link. And in this link, you can click on the link and you can download your dosha cheat sheet. So it tells you exactly what you should be eating. It tells you what you should be avoiding, and thus we can minimize a lot of stress that's coming from poor diet, poor lifestyle, right? So we discussed a bit about routines. We discussed about eating for your body type, or the importance of eating for your body type. Now, the other thing that I'm going to talk about stress and stress management is to really, take time to spend time with yourself. And I pretty much talk about this in most my lives. A lot of the times people are so disconnected with themselves, right, that they're not sure who they are, and that creates a lot of stress with them. So somebody said something to me, and that's why I'm really hurt today, or I'm really upset. But if I know that I'm not the person they're saying me to be, then I need not get as upset and spend a lot of time, just churning on it, right? But that's the problem today, that a lot of people, we are so engaged externally, we are so engaged, be it Netflix, be it somebody else's life, be it social media, Instagram, like whatever it is, that we start getting disconnected with ourselves, and that creates a lot of stress in the body. When we talk about social media and the whole thing about comparison, we look at people, we think, oh, they have maybe a better house, a better car, or like something better, I don't know. So we start comparing, right? But then you're comparing apples and oranges, because you're not comparing the same person. You cannot compare yourself to anybody. You're this unique person who is completely unique. There's not going to be anyone who has your DNA, exact DNA, right? So you are a unique person. You cannot just compare to anybody or everybody. And once you get rid of that comparisonitis, once you start appreciating yourself for who you are, you start getting rid of that stress, right? You start releasing that stress which was not yours. If you understand yourself, if you start journaling is one of my favorite ways. I really love journaling because a lot of things in your head, a lot of the confusion that you face, or any you know anything absolutely that's stressing you out, once you put it on paper, and once you kind of visualize it in front of you, once you put it on paper, you get a completely different perspective about it. You can easily then either say that, okay, it's true for me and I need to change it, or you can totally negate it by saying, oh, this is not even mine. Oh, this judgment maybe came from my childhood, so and so said this to me, as a kid, and it's for information, right? It's not to blame them. But when you realize that certain judgments you're carrying, certain stressors you're carrying are not yours, that itself starts releasing a lot of stress, right? So this is something very simple. Sometimes you can write down certain beliefs if you're stuck on a certain piece, whether it's your work, whether it's self-worth, self-esteem, whether it's finances, whether it's relationships. So whatever area of life you're having stress in, write down what you think about it, write down what are your beliefs associated with it. And then you might realize that a lot of the beliefs that you're carrying are not even yours, they're coming from somewhere else. And by owning up to certain beliefs that are not yours, you're creating a lot of stress in your body because you don't want to change, right? So this is a very simple exercise. Journaling can also help you de-stress easily. Now we talked about building a routine, we talked about judgments, we talked about a diet. The other thing that everybody can do, right, in today's world, and this is something that I do religiously every single night before I go to bed after I brush my teeth, is I'll take some oil and I'll put the oil on my feet, on the soles of my feet, and I'll massage my feet extremely well, right? So when we talk about feet, they're connected to the earth element, which is extremely grounding, right? Which is also the opposite to Vata dosha in characteristics. So when you take this oil, which is a really good balancer of Vata, and you massage your feet with some warm oil before bedtime, you're going to sleep really well. You're going to feel grounded and you're going to feel calm down. And if you can, what you can also do is either have a warm bath before bedtime. You can soak in some Epsom salts, right? So magnesium is an anti-stress mineral. So when we talk about stress management, soaking up in Epsom salts is going to help really relax your entire body, especially if you have muscle tightness, if you have headaches, or if you have muscle cramps, calf muscle cramps. It's going to really help you. So soaking in Epsom salts is a really good way at bedtime. And also including foot massage as a part of your bedtime is extremely well. If you are someone who works a lot with their head, right? So I'm constantly with my computer creating content, um, working with clients. I'm constantly using my head, right, my brain, and it tends to get heated up really well. So what I do is I'll put some oil right on the crown chakra, right? So right on the crown of my head. I'll take some oil, I'll slather it, I'll just kind of tap it a little bit at night, and that helps me ground and de stress as well, right? So these are extremely simple things that you can do at your home for Ayurvedic stress management. There are a lot of herbs that you can take. We have some amazing herbs, we have a lot of anti-aging herbs that are known as rasayana herbs that travel through all your body's tiny passages, and that also create a lot of comfort and nourishment to your body, right? And they also combat any kind of physical stress. So one of the popular ones is ashwagandha, right? I'm sure a lot of you, have you heard about ashwagandha? Have you tried ashwagandha? For those who are watching this live, so ashwagandha is a really nice herb. It balances vata. It can help promote sleep and it can calm you down. And it's also known as adaptogen, right? So anything that's an adaptogen is going to support your stress glands. Ashwagandha can do that. Brahmi or Bacopa is another fantastic herb that promotes memory. That's also an adaptogen that can also bring a lot of comfort to your nervous system, especially for those using your brain or overthinking or overusing your brain, right? So Brahmi can help with focus, it can help balance, it can help, you feel make you feel grounded. So that's also something you can definitely try. What I personally recommend is if you're trying to work with herbs, always work with an Ayurvedic doctor or a practitioner or somebody who knows about the herbs in detail, because we look for a lot of things when we're suggesting herbs, right? So they're not as easy as taking over the counter supplements. So but these are some options, something like amla berries or amalki. Amla berry is fantastic for summer season. It has 5 tastes in it out of the 6, so it's not salty, but it's sweet, it's astringent, it's a little pungent, bitter. So it has like 5 different tastes of the 6 tastes. and it has the highest value of antioxidants in it. It has much more antioxidants than blueberries, right? So I think it has 36 times more antioxidants than blueberries, and it's known as amalki or amla berry. And if you have tried chawanprash, right? I think I've spoken about chawanprash sometime back when I did the video during COVID, right? When this whole COVID situation started, I was talking about certain herbs that support your respiratory health, and chawanprash is like a herbal jam. It's made up with a lot of different herbs. There are over 50 different herbs, and the base is amla berry, right? So amla berry is cooked, and then you add it in ghee, right? After you steam the berries, you cook it with a lot of herbs and decoctions. Then you add honey, and that promotes your respiratory tract, right? So it supports your respiratory tract, but it also supports your entire body, right? So this chawanprash is also an anti-aging formula, and it's also an adaptogen. It helps your body adapt to any external stressors. And the story is that there was this sage, he was like a really old sage, maybe in his, I don't know, 100 years old. And he was married to a really young princess, right? And he was really worried because here he's married to this young princess and he just couldn't keep up with her, and he wanted to become young, right? So then the gods, the physicians of the god, known as Ashwini Kumaras, right? So two of the physicians of the god, they actually made this special jam for him known as Chavan Prash. And Chavan is the name of the Rishi or the sage for whom the jam was first made. And this is the anti aging jam, right? So a lot of Indian kids are exposed to the flavor because your parents would have fed it to you as a child for its tonic effect to make you hungry, but it also nourishes all your tissues, right? So that's something you can also try if you're going through a lot of stress, adding some kind of support to your food, trying to eat as clean as you can, right? So trying to make sure you're eating at fixed times, trying to make sure you're not eating any junk food, because junk food is going to create a lot of stressors on your body, through chemicals and excess preservatives. It might create lots of stressors on your body. So this is something to be mindful. So I think we've discussed quite a bit of Ayurvedic stress management. I'm here for about 30 minutes now. Anybody, do you have any questions for today? Any questions? Okay, no. Okay. Okay, I don't see any questions. So thank you all. I know it's a completely different environment. I'm sitting in my friend's backyard. I'm going to go back and join them for the party. And we are allowed to meet up to 10 people in Ontario. So I'm just following the rules. I'm not, not following the rules, and we are taking the necessary precautions as well. Hi, Pulse Suresh. Thanks for watching live. So I will be seeing you all tomorrow, right? So if you haven't yet signed up for Ayurveda for Health and Happiness, which is my Facebook group, I am hosting an interview with Dr. Gauri Junnarkar, right? So she's an Ayurvedic doctor. She is also a certified dietitian and a licensed massage therapist. And she is also a certified diabetes educator, right? So she is extremely amazing. She's a really amazing person. And I'm going to interview her tomorrow at 11 o'clock about managing your blood pressure, blood sugar. And we are going to discuss different foods. We're going to discuss different supplements. So we're going to discuss how can you manage your blood sugar, and lots of natural foods, what to eat to be able to manage that. So whether you have diabetes or you have pre-diabetes, this free interview will help you. I'm going to live stream it on YouTube for those who don't want to join it in the group. I'm also going to, live stream it inside the Facebook group. So you can definitely, join my YouTube channel. You can ask me any questions that you have. And I'll see you all at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning for diabetes. And next week, I think I'm going to start talking about blood sugar again, So I think I'm going to just continue tomorrow's half an hour. And I will be talking about blood sugar management in the next week. I will also be discussing about polycystic ovarian syndrome. So PCOS is a common hormonal condition that affects a lot of women. So that's what I'm planning for next Friday. And Monday and Wednesday, I'm going to do a two-part series on blood sugar and what are some signs that tell you your blood sugar is out of control, and what are some ways you can control it naturally. So that's what I'm going to discuss in the next three sessions next week. So thank you all for watching this live. I hope you have an amazing evening. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. So feel free to join me tomorrow at 11 o'clock in the morning for the Facebook Live. And I start my clinic on Monday. So for those who are local, feel free to connect with me if you want to get any testing done, or if you need any support with your health, I'll be more than happy to help you. So that's something I'm a little, I won't say anxious. I'm a little excited. I'm super excited for sure, but I'm a little nervous because things have changed so much in the past 3 months, right? So it'll be an experience, trying to see how new things are and how things have changed from the old. And while change can be extremely exciting, it takes some time to adapt. So I'm really excited. I have a busy week next week, so I'm thankful for that. So thank you all once again, and have a fantastic evening, have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you all tomorrow as well as next Monday. So bye for now.